Hey, good morning. Welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox, and today we are going to talk about your role in the coming end times. What's your job? What's your position? What's your role? You're a prepper, right? I mean, you're watching Viking Preparedness, and this isn't the only prepper channel you're watching. And so to one degree or another, you're prepping, and that's good. To prepare means that one has to think ahead. You are getting ready for something that has not yet happened. That's good. Used to be kind of lonely in what was then called the survivalist world. Now it's called the prepper world. There weren't a lot of us. But more and more and more people are waking up and smelling the coffee, which I need more of. You know, using the analogy of a train coming, it seems to me that there was a time when some of us had our hands on the track, our ear to the track, and we could hear the vibrations of the coming train. I'm picturing one of those trains in like the cowboy movies, right? Steam locomotive. And then there were others who said, hey, shh, shh, do you hear that? Woo, woo. They could hear the train whistle coming. And then others, as the train approached and got closer, said, hey, do you see something on the horizon out there where those tracks disappear? And as the train got closer, other people are like, man, there's a train coming, and now this thing is barreling down. And so more and more people see this thing coming, whether that be, you know, economic collapse, war, civil war in America, revolution, whatever, man. You know, the volcano. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know where I'm gonna go when the volcano blows. Actually, I do know. Do you know? But stuff's coming, right? And so we prepare, and more people are preparing. And so the question today is, in your preparations, in your plans, in the things that you envision that are coming, how do you see yourself fitting into that? What role will you play? We're Americans, most of us, right? I know we have international viewers. You can fit yourself into this as you can. As Americans, we fashion ourselves. We think of ourselves as fiercely independent. It is me and the wilderness, and I'm going to conquer it, right? I mean, that's what we think about. But I tell you, what's coming is going to require tribalism. It's not going to require tribalism. Tribalism is going to come back. And I submit it never really went away. We've just had this period of time where civilization, the rule of law, has really softened our edges. And it's allowed us to act like we don't need anybody else. I don't need anybody. I can do this all on my own. The reason you can do things all on your own now is because there's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of control that's been placed by the system on the system that allows you to get along by yourself. You can walk down the street by yourself. You can go here by yourself. You can set things up by yourself, but that's not the way of things. And I submit to you that when this house of cards, stupid fly, starts falling down, you're going to need people, right? I've said this before. So, you either form a tribe, a group, a mag, a community, or you join one. Because what's going to happen is, as the control mechanisms that exist now start breaking down, that vacuum that's created is going to give rise to new control mechanisms. Humans are societal in nature. We form governments of whatever kind. You know, a Boy Scout troop has a government. And then these governments, breakfast, enact their will on the people. Hopefully for the benefit of the people. They all start out that way, right? Most of them. Maybe not. But tribes are going to form. They're going to roll into your area, or they're going to rise up in your area, and you are either going to join or die. You will either join or be absorbed or be part of the problem and be dealt with. And at that point, I submit to you that you have enough problems that you don't need to be, starting more problems. And so you are going to have a role in this new organization, whatever form it takes. And again, my question to you is, what do you see your role as being? So many of us fierce, independent, Americans, by God, we see ourselves as the hero, right? We see ourselves as the leader. Is that how you see yourself? There was a period of time when I hung out, not for long periods of time. I checked out. That's probably a better phrase. A few different militia organizations. By no means many or all, right? But a few. I just read something the other day, and I'd like to give it credit. I think I know who said it, but I'm not sure. If somebody else does, you can say it in the comments. But it was basically, look at our militia units where people who have no business being in charge of a tactical unit. They have no military tactical experience at all. They fashion themselves some colonel and they take over, It's like, all right, I'm forming a militia unit. I'll be the colonel of 10 guys. You're a squad leader, dude, and you're probably not even qualified for that position, but there were a lot of really high-sounding ranks, and people were all concerned with who had what rank, and respect me, damn it, and, all that silliness, as opposed to just getting the job done. And very few people just want to be an Indian. Too many chiefs, not enough Indians. We all think we're really important. And this is a pride thing that I think has been allowed. It's like a version of, I'm not trying to offend anybody here, it's a version of the snowflake syndrome. I'm a special, unique snowflake, and I deserve respect. And I can say whatever I want. You're not that special. You're really not that unique. And nobody cares what you have to say. I mean, that's not true. But didn't that just make you feel like, oh, right? That's because we're Americans and we think that way. But to get along in a group, I don't care what you call it, tribe, mag, community, clan, whatever, you have to put the needs of the group above the needs of yourself. Man, we don't like that as Americans. I'm an individual, man. My individual rights. Your individual rights exist only as so far as you can protect them. And I submit once again that when this thing starts falling apart, you are not going to be able to protect them by yourself. You're going to need a group. And so again, what role do you see yourself playing in this group? Because here's where I'm going with this. Once you sit down and realize, I don't know how many thousand people are going to watch this video, but I guarantee you that no more than 10% of you, and that's high, are going to be leaders, right? Come on. Once you figure out what you're going to do, what your role is going to be, I encourage you to start getting better at it now. See, prepare for that now. If you see yourself as the nurse or the doctor or the I'm going on another tangent mini rant here. It's funny to me how many preppers slash survivalists see themselves as, well, I'll just be ranch security. I'll show up and offer my services to secure everything. Y'all need to go watch my video, and if I get a chance, I'll put a link to it down below. What do you bring to the table? That offended a lot of people. What do you bring to the table? I'll put a link to it down below. But once you decide what you think your role's going to be, start getting ready for it. And by getting ready for it, learn more, right? You don't know everything you need to know. I don't care if you are a neurosurgeon. There's a reason these guys read journals and go to classes and courses and things like that. No one is ever at the top of the game. There's always more to learn. There's always more developments. And so get better at whatever it is you do. Gather the materials that allow you to do your job. And if possible, learn how to fabricate those materials from scratch to, whatever. Because one of the best things to barter, and again, it's a slight tangent, but not really. One of the best things to barter is skills, right? Because you can't lose your skills, generally speaking. But your skills are no good if you don't have the tools with which to practice your skills. No one wants you to show up and say, I'm a carpenter, but I don't have a saw or a hammer. Dude, you got to bring your own. Even today, when you show up at a job site, most places you need your own tools. So think about what your role's going to be. Start getting better at it. And here's something you can get better at. Because I can feel many people thinking, I'll just be a good Indian. I'll just do what I'm told. Will you? Will you? What if you show up all kitted out with all your, toys and gear and underfolder AK, whatever, with all my stuff. And you're like, I'll just be a good private. And they say, all right, hey, yeah, here's a shovel. We need to clean out that horse stall or that cow barn or that chicken house. Shovel all the poop into the wheelbarrow and then take it back up here and see Sister Susie, and she'll tell you where to put it in the garden. And by the way, you're going to do that all day with a couple water breaks. You can set your stuff down over there. You ready to do that? Are you really ready to do that? This sucks, man. Blah, blah, blah. Murmur, murmur, murmur. Kvetch, kvetch, kvetch. No one appreciates you for your greatness. Right? I mean, it's a human thing. It happened to the Israelites. Read your Bible. Everybody was kvetching with Moses. All murmuring. Think about your role. Bring it forward a little bit. What's your role in your immediate circle? You have an immediate circle, most of you. Most of you are not lone wolves right now. You have a spouse, you have some kids, you have a mom and dad maybe that are in the area. You have some friends, some neighbors. What's your role there? Are you a valued member of your group? And if so, why? How? Why do people value you? Do they value you? If they don't, why not? Those are hard questions, man. Think about that. Think about how you're perceived by your group. What do they think about you? You can work on that now. Constant forward motion, constant self-improvement. In order to get better, we have to understand what we need to get better at. What leaves room for improvement? What do I want to focus my efforts today on? That means you got to look at yourself, your situation, as not all that, right? Pride, ego. Think about these things. You're going through life. I would think you would want to be better off next year than you are this year. Sure, better off in your job. That's the American thing too, right? Capitalism, get it. All right, I want to be doing better in my job or have a better job or whatever. How about your family relationships? How about your prepper situation? How about your physical fitness? How about, whatever, a myriad of things. And these things don't just happen. Wishing will not make it so. What's that? If wishes were horses, beggars would ride. You're going to have to take action. You're going to have to get up from behind that computer. You're going to have to get up off that couch. You're going to have to get up earlier out of bed and start doing stuff. Since I think that what is coming down the pike is going to be life, society changing, the fourth turning, if you will, you should be getting ready for that. And to do your real assessment, you have to start thinking, where are you going to fit in to the new mix? All right, what role are you going to play? Think about that. Take some steps to improve your lot in life. And I will see you out there.